Don't you worry, the clip's about to begin, but don't forget to subscribe. Or else, don't make me turn this website around.
Okay, we're gonna talk to Ren next.
Cool.
Hi, Ren. Welcome to the line. What would you like to talk about today? Hey, Ren.
Thank you. Hi, thanks for taking my call and for doing this show. So, I called back in March when Shannon and Dragnaut were hosting.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah, that was a while.
I was asking, like, is there any other way besides interpreting it as a spiritual or metaphysical experience? Like, for me personally, it was like an experience where I currently believe that I was like experiencing God's love, like something outside of me, something I wasn't able to imagine. And Shannon, you gave like really helpful explanation that there could be some like neurobiological explanations for that.
Yep.
So I've been doing some reading, like just like Google, Wikipedia level reading, and I had like a couple follow-up questions if you could offer thoughts on. But then mainly, I was just really appreciate if either of you could recommend some, like, I guess, better resources like books or academic articles or, I don't know, lectures on YouTube and anything where I could like learn more, or even terms that I could search on Google, because that would help.
Oh, Ren, I appreciate it. Okay, so I can start with a really good book that's a very good introductory level sort of book that's written in a very palatable way that explains a lot of how we have these real sort of cognitive short switches in how we interpret things. And it's called Brain Bugs, like B-U-G-S, Brain Bugs. I can't remember the name of the author right now. It's a fabulous book. It goes into the science, but it uses, really good, solid, real life examples and palatable examples without going too much into the minutia of the technical aspects of things. And it's a really enlightening book if you want to look at how you think and why. Another one that's a little bit more of a heavier read, but is good in a similar way, is a book called Thinking Fast and Slow. So those would be my first two books that I would recommend that are really palatable. And both of them, I believe, are available in audiobooks as well.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Are you doing okay, Ren?
Yeah. I am doing great, actually. Yeah.
Good. So you've had some progress on your journey then? That's led you into being in a bit of a better place than the last time we spoke?
Yeah. And I've been doing some reading and just thinking, like, I still personally believe in God, but I some of the things I was reading about was like, I was looking into like, I guess other faith belief systems that also like have like emotional or spiritual experiences or like worship. So like and then I was thinking like, like if, certain faiths, like they believe they can experience like spiritual mediumship, or I think like in Sufism and Islam, they believe or they experience some metaphysical experiences. And then for me, I was thinking, okay, like why am I interpreting mine as my background is Protestant Christianity. So I was thinking, okay, is this definitely, like, why am I interpreting it as Jesus if someone else is interpreting it as another God or spirit? Like, is it coming from the same source? Or, I'm kind of thinking through that.
Yeah. You really like brain, but sorry, go ahead, Katie. Go.
I was just going to. I think that's a good question to ask. Like, ask yourself for any sort of religious position. Is like, there are people throughout history all across the world who have lived and had these experiences, and they've known for a fact in their hearts that it's their God, and they have the same amount of evidence, the same amount of experience, the same feelings. Often you can like read their reports and stuff, and they've just thought it was a different God or gods. And it's interesting to ask why that's the case. And I know that sort of at the end of my sort of journey into becoming an atheist when I was younger, there was a situation where I went to like a sort of Bible camp thing, and they were talking about the Holy Spirit and what it felt like, and they were playing this like uplifting Christian music that, you know, really makes you feel good even if you aren't Christian. And they were saying, you know, that feeling you get that feels like warmth coming through you, and it just makes you almost feel like you could cry, and this, you know, they're describing all these things, and I was thinking, well, you know, I am feeling this, and you could say this was the Holy Spirit, but I know for a fact that I have felt this exact same feeling watching Cannibal Corpse play death metal, and it's just a feeling of like emotions and music, and like it's just overwhelming, and it's incredible. But I just interpreted that as like really good riffs rather than, you know, a sort of Holy Spirit or any other kind of religious thing. So yeah,
it has
sorry,
a
that
lot
was
to
a
do
bit
with.
of a story.
No, that's super valid, and actually goes into the point that I was about to make, which actually ties into the book Brain Bugs. So one of the things that really hits home, and that's right, that's effortless, Katie. One of the things in the book that is really interesting to read about is the concept of framing and neural network encoding when it comes to memory recall. So the framing is really, really important for how we interpret cognitive experiences. So I'll actually do something that's in the book because I think it's a really good demonstration. So Ren, name a country in Africa.
Swaziland.
What are the two colors that you see on a checkerboard?
Green and purple.
Oh, no, on a checkerboard, like if you're playing chess or checkers?
Oh, black and white.
Okay. Can you name an animal?
Koala.
What did you say?
Koala.
Koala. Oh, okay. You actually deviated because most people, when they did a study using those as priming questions. And when you ask somebody, and it could be because you deviated in the colors that may have gone off, may have been why it went off. But in the study, if you ask somebody to name a country in Africa, followed by a completely segregated question type, which is the two colors on a chessboard, because of the way our memories are encoded and because of the way that our access to memories works in neural networks, the part of your brain that's already active is most likely to respond quicker. So if the part of your brain that stores your concept of Africa is activated along with the part of your brain that stores the colors black and white, most people are going to name either an animal from Africa, and on measure, most people are going to name one that's striped, and almost everybody's going to say zebra. That was something that they found as a result. So because of those priming questions, those parts of your neural network are already activated. It's interesting to me that you deviated because it was almost always entirely the case that most people would say zebra, given those two priming questions. I'd be interested to see in the comment section below who thought zebra when I said that, as opposed to who thought, and provided people are honest, because I'm sure there's a million theists right now that are going, I thought about me. But a lot of people probably did think zebra without, even realizing it. So if you look at thinking fast and slow, this goes to Katie's point too, right? When you have these experiences, the context that you're in when the experience is taking place, as well as how it's being framed to you by the people that you're interacting with or the society that you're in, are absolutely going to influence the manner in which you interpret that experience. And if you have external reinforcement from people around you saying, I have that experience, I interpret it this way, you're going to say, oh, okay, well, that reasonably is why I'm having this experience too. There's consensus on how this experience is interpreted, and thus I'm going to view it through that lens consistently, which may not always be the case. Sure. It's kind of a fallacious way of thinking, but a lot of our ways of thinking are essentially just cognitive shortcuts that we use because they're easy and they don't necessarily harm us. Does that make some sense? I'm so excited that you said koala, and I'm still confused that you said purple and pink with the checkerboard. Where are you getting your checkerboard?
I was just thinking more of a checkerboard pattern than a literal checkerboard.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not a very linear thinker, so it could just be my brain.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. But yeah, I'd be interested to see. You should look at Brain Bugs. Brain Bugs is a really palatable book,
Okay.
and it answers, I think, a good amount of the questions that you may have surrounding neural aspects of cognition and interpretation and perception. And I'm glad you called back. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate both of your input. So.
No, not a problem. I'm glad you're in a good place.
Perhaps go to some death metal shows and see if you can recreate the same feelings. And
Katy's a death metal apologist. Just in case you're wondering, that's essentially she's smuggled her way in here as an atheist in disguise, but really she's here just to promote death metal. That's why Katy's here.
Not incompatible.
Not incompatible at all. It's true. All right, when we will let you go. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you for calling back. See you later.
You too.
Bye.
Thanks.
bye.
She's lovely. Yeah, actually, before we even went live, my chat was like, "Can you ask Katy what some of her favorite death metal bands are?"
So amazing! Fallujah. They're an American like prog death metal band, and I would describe it as like super intense technical death metal, but like with aquarium sounds. So it's like sweeping, like makes you feel like you could be in space, or it's like really passive, but then underneath there's this super active, aggressive, mad technical, crazy guitar stuff going on, and it's just such a good combination. Like, no offense if they're watching, but skip their newest album and listen to the two before that. They're like, oh, so good, so good. That's my top at the moment death metal recommendation. So,
all right, well, there you go, chat. You got what you wanted. There you go. There's your answer. That's right. That's what we're going to do in between calls. Katy's just going to recommend death metal bands that I am never going to even bother to try and listen to. Sorry, Katy, I love you, but that's not my thing. I could recommend some good like folk acoustic bands, but not death metal.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip for The Line. While you're here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and then share this with that bitter uncle of yours who loves talking about the good old days.